Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 21 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Listen, I say it every single episode. Honestly, I don't think there's a single episode I didn't say it. Massive episode today. Seriously, it is. First of all, we're hitting the fucking quadfecta today. Talking about 5 animes.
I'm afraid you're just not that intelligent. Bye.
You might be wondering, why in the title does it say Naruto's voice actor hates us? Because she does. Okay, listen, she doesn't actually, and I'm not actually mad about this. You know, I know it hurts her more than it does us. I went to an anime convention over the weekend. It was massive. Massive. When we left, I got there at 8 o'clock. It starts at 10. We left at 1. There was still a line to get in. It wrapped around the entire expo center, down the street, down another street, and down. It was like 5,000 people trying to get in. And there was already thousands of people in there. I have never been to something that massive before. We were leaving, and we're laughing as we're driving away, going on all these streets and still seeing the line. We're like, yeah, guys, because me and my buddy Bill were like, yo, let's get there early. And the other two were like, dude, do we have to? It's like a 3-hour drive. Like, come on. And we're like, yeah. You guys wanted to wait in that? You guys wanted to wait in? They're like, we're so sorry.
Yeah.
We're so sorry. You guys are right. But, I went there solely to meet Naruto's voice actor. She couldn't make it. Flight got canceled. So again, like, I'm not actually like too upset. I know it hurts her maybe more. She's honestly one of the coolest people in the community. She always does Naruto's catchphrases, the voice. She's like one of the coolest people. Which is why I wanted to meet her so much. So like, I'm not gonna hold it against her. I'm gonna meet her one day and get her autograph. It's gonna be the best. But we're gonna use the title for clickbait and stuff because it's a great title. But you know what I did do, boys? I met the pirate himself.
Oh, dude,
I got the autograph,
sick.
dude. I think this is sick print. Like, you can't really see the autograph;
Super
it's
sick.
right there, but it's got hearts on it. I'm just saying. Luffy's voice actor is a girl, so fucking don't even try. But listen, I have not seen One Piece at all, so because of that, we are now going to be binging One Piece. Later on this week, I'm going to start episode 1, and I'm going to make it, literally, I'm going to see how fast I can binge One Piece. 1,112 episodes and counting, 15 movies and counting, so it's going to be absolutely insane. In the comments down below, let me know, take your predictions, how long it's going to take me. Because I'm watching every single episode, I'm not skipping anything, watching from start to finish, I'm not skipping inside the episodes either. I'm not a bitch. I am, but when it comes to anime, I'm a professional.
The man.
So there's going to be a ton of content following that. I'm going to be posting a ton of content. Me and Blake are going to be having a video about One Piece as well. It is going to be an absolute blast. If you're a One Piece fan, get excited. There's also a ton of content just dropping in general, of anime, of gacha games. We are going fucking insane. I hope you guys are ready. But listen, it is the quadfecta. So many insane animes this week. And I mean so many insane animes. My Hero Academia, let me tell you, like, Blake texted me. He's like, hey, man. You know, he was busy this weekend as well. He's like, I'm going to watch My Hero Academia just in case we talk about it. I'm like, you know what, dude? I don't think you need to. Because, the past couple weeks haven't been boring, but there's only been, like, one thing to talk about from each episode.
You had, like, the recap episode, which always means, like, it's slowing down for a sec. So I'm like, yeah, we'll skip this week.
Yeah.
But holy shit.
And then I watched this week's episode this morning. Let me tell you how I was tearing up. It was fucking 6 a.m. What a way to start the day, okay? Like, insane episode. The Elusive Samurai. Probably the, least action-packed out of the 5 this week, but still an incredible episode that is just building up this season and really it proved to us that it is gonna be a nice season. It is gonna be an awesome season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Wistoria. Bro, they took that shit personally. They're like, you're going to compare us to Black Clover? We're going to show you Will, who has glasses. The man has glasses. Makes Asta look small. My man is shredded.
Good point.
Like, thank you, Will, for the eating disorder. Because I've been trying to eat healthy again. And after I saw that physique, I'm like, I have to eat very strict again. I was shocked.
Bro. Dude, you said sleeper build. That's like the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. Those robes, I'm not even going to say what I'm going to say because I'm going to get yelled at. But those robes are insane. They're magical, man. They hide stuff. Like, dude is just massive and just shredded. You can see why the girls love him. What else? Nobody remembers me. We're gonna get into that. That one seems so amazing. But it's also like, kind of like a little bit of a, you can really like test theories with it. Kind of like we were with Kaiju 8. Like you can really sit there and kind of like, this hypothetical or that hypothetical, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And Alya, hide your feelings and Russian. Been a long day. Wow, that one really impressed. We were, I think, we had high expectations for it this week, and it somehow delivered. It was getting kind of weird. We wanted it to stop that. It did. We were worried about a little bit of a harem going on, and it's like, no. We're going to have some peak romance anime this season. The girl that he remembers from childhood, I was like, oh, that's Alya. Obviously, she just dyed her hair. No, it's Alya's fucking sister. So, and she's still in love with him. So now we have this insane triangle, but like he loves both, sort of. We don't know. Dude, it's going to get insane. It's going to get so insane. It's going to be amazing. There's so much to talk about that. Blick, man, as always, what do you want to start with? We got 5 here on the docket today.
I'll let you pick Alya or My Hero, because My Hero was popping. That was a huge episode.
Alya.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
With Alya.
I was super hype. I thought this was a good episode to like, kind of like you said, bring it back and focus on what the story actually is and kind of shed some light on some characters. I thought that was a really good plot twist. Like they introduce Alya's older sister, and that's who. But that was like a really good plot twist, and I didn't expect her older sister to like kind of remember as much. But as soon as she like comes home, she starts talking about like, oh, there's a boy who moved your heart. Like, tell me about it. Like she's kind of like prying into her love life, you know, typical older sister.
Yeah.
Older sister vibes there. But it was cool to kind of get some backstory before we get too deep into the story and kind of like meet some of the main characters and like some of the main players that we're going to be dealing with.
Well, I thought it was cool all around because we actually got into Alya's backstory pretty big time, and I felt awful for her, man. I thought she just wanted to try so hard to win. She's competitive. She just puts her best out there all the time. And you just have those kids that like just slack, and then not only do that and like not pull their weight in the group. No, but yeah, same with me sometimes. But like the difference is that you're not going to go and then shit on the person who's like trying their hardest. That's what they did, and that was bullshit. It's like, dude, fuck you. If she wants to try hard, let her. You know what I mean? I get that you want to slack or do something last minute, but like, don't go on her. Like, don't get on her case for that. So I just felt like really bad. You see how she got isolated and became the Ice Queen. You know what I mean? So you can kind of like, it was really, really cool seeing how she got there, and then seeing how he won her heart. My man's got game. Like, damn, I can see it. I'm like, listen, I understand why she's into him and why she believes in him and thinks that he can get stuff done. Like, it was really nice. It was really nice seeing those interactions, and it was really nice seeing that like build up. I feel like we're like really knowledgeable, like really like in the relationship now, because we saw her as a kid, how she became the way she is, how they met, how that kind of started, how she started to develop feelings for him, and here we are now. It just feels like since we're just so informed, it just feels like we've been there the whole time. You know what I mean? Which is just really cool. And now you're introducing her sister. And then, oh my god, that's going to be a mess. When she held him and he's like, this feels familiar, and you just see it in his eyes. Like, it just, like, his heart sank. You know what I mean? It was just like, dude, this is going to be a great goddamn anime.
And then as soon as she's like walking away and she hits him with Russian, just like Alya, that like kind of sly, like, remark, like she knows he knows, and he's trying to like play it off.
Yeah, she was doing that the whole episode. Like, talking to him in Russian. She's like, You're not gonna respond? You're not gonna respond? He's like, don't know what you mean. He's like, yeah, okay.
Wicked, dude. Like, just their like dialogue together is really cool, and kind of like you said, he's got the riz, you know what I mean? Like, he shows up at the right moments. Like, he's kind of a slacker, but like he knows when to get things done and when to show up. And obviously Alya and her sister know that and respect that about him. But he's like a very likable guy at this point. Now that you kind of saw their backstory, yeah, I feel like you're more into the like the tension in their relationship, and you can kind of see why they feel the way they do about each other, which I think is important, especially like early on in the story. That way you're like invested for the next, you know, whatever, 7 to 10 episodes.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome is that we were worried about it was going to be like some harem, you know what I mean? And it's like, it is really, and it still could be, but like this really does look like it's going to be. And it seems like it's like really on the fence, because it's like, okay, well, Alya's into him, her sister's really into him. And it's like, he could be kind of for both. I can see him being into Alya. Like, the way he felt when he, like, recognized that girl's, like touch, her presence, was just insane. And it's like, dude, this is going to be really, like, dramatic. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell shit can definitely go down, especially when you have his gremlin little sister who's just looking to start fire and chaos. Like, oh my god. Dude, she's going to have a fucking field day. She's going to have so much fun. Like, it's going to get insane. It's going to be awesome. And I actually wrote this down. I said, his backstory looks good. I forget. I guess we started seeing his backstory at the end, and it looked pretty good.
We should go in case being a moron is contagious.
Oh, I remember his backstory now. So his sister is actually sick, and his parents get divorced. his sister's sick. He was like, "Oh, I'll live with you,
His
Dad," and
dad
his dad was
leaves.
like, "No." His dad was like, "Yeah, no, it's not happening." So you can kind of see, I guess, how he ends up on his own. His parents pretty much abandon him, and then it's kind of like
Kuze.
him and his sister. But his sister, I think, is sick, which is going to be insane to figure that part out. Because I think his sister wasn't at school too. In this episode, she was at home like sick, and you can tell she has like a actually pretty nasty disease, probably.
Yeah, and they like just kind of barely touch on it, but his dad leaves and is like, "Yeah, like you're coming to live with me," and then I guess they get split up, him and his sister. Also, Kuze is very much easier than trying to like pronounce his Russian name, so I'm gonna stick with that from now on.
Stick with that.
Yeah, like I think we'll probably get a little more in the next episode or maybe episode 5 about kind of his full backstory and maybe what's going on with his sister. Because yeah, like they kind of just barely touched on the fact that she was sick and she is still kind of sick, even though it's manageable. Which like she has like kind of like you said, a very lively personality and like she likes like to start stuff and kind of like wants to see the romantic chaos in her brother's life. But you can kind of empathize with that a little bit because I'm sure if you're in and out of the hospital, you don't get as much of that as like a normal teenager would, or, as you're involved in like a normal life. So it'll be really interesting to kind of get the full backstory of Kuze and his family, but also to see like where his sister fits in and kind of like the shit she starts with like the other girls and stuff.
Yeah, and like to kind of defend her, like she doesn't only fuck with his relationship. She actually does help out. Like there actually was moments where she actually like helped like get them to kind of together. She's trying to get him like kind of like closer to her, but at the same time she's also having her fun. And yeah, you're right. Like when you're stuck in the hospital all the time and you're kind of like stuck inside and you're not like around that stuff a lot. Like you kind of want to start some fires, have a little chaos, and have a good time. But like yeah, she's not all evil. She's a sibling. You know what I mean? And that's why
Yeah.
that's why I hated the weirdness that was with her so much, because like I felt like they really did a good job hitting that sibling part. Like the way that they mocked each other, the way that they interact, not all of it, but you know what I mean? Like it was just like it was really cool and a nice touch of the anime. So it's definitely like her being a part of this is definitely going to make it really interesting and funny too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I definitely, like you said, it could still be like a harem situation where like it gets a little weird, but my confidence is way higher now. I
Yeah.
think that 3 episode rule, like it's definitely past that, and I'm definitely locked in now. I definitely want to see where it goes, and I have a lot of confidence in it. I think we're in for something really good.
Yeah, I feel like they really steered the ship, and it's kind of like, hey, it's going in this direction, guys. And I just felt confident about that from this episode. So hopefully it continues. But yeah, this episode really gave us the vibe that it's not going to be all weird. Maybe a thing here or there, but like mainly way normal. Not going to be harem. Probably gonna be like a really good love story where it's just like, shit, who is he going to pick? Like, what's going to happen? First of all, I guess let's do
Yeah.
early predictions. Who do you think? Alya? Like, well, I guess who do you want? Because it's going to be Alya. Her name's in the goddamn title. But who would you think is better, from Alya or is it Masha?
Yeah, it's tough to say this early, but it's hard to like go away from the MC just because they're like the same age, they're with each
Yeah.
other in class. I think they probably have more time to bond. And both of the sisters, as much as they like Kuze and like getting involved in his relationship, they don't seem like malicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you look back on a couple other romances, the girls will like go out of their way to like
Sabotage.
maybe not
Steal
yeah
him.
sabotage a date or like yeah try and get alone with him. Like I'm not getting that from thankfully his sister, but also Alya's sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Alya's...
It's like you said, it's more sibling stuff than like
Mhm.
diabolical, plotting.
Yeah, like Alya's sister, like she could have like just like stolen him right then and there. She could have just been like, "Hey, it's me from when we were younger." You know what I mean? And easily could have done that, but she kind of realized like, "Oh, it is him." But then she's like, "Fuck, like that's the guy my sister's into." So that's why she kind of played it on the edge, where she was messing with him a little bit, but like she wasn't like coming out and saying it. And yeah, that's why I feel like it's gonna get like pretty crazy. And it's gonna be interesting. But like I don't know, I really want him to go for the older sister instead. I mean, the way that they like connected at the end, it was just like, bro, you get like something is just definitely there. Like Alya's really into him, but like we haven't seen him into Alya. You know what I mean? And when you see like both of
Yeah.
them, like him and the older sister have like such that old like that connection and that history, it's just like, oh, you want to root for it. So I know that they're gonna have that switch more to Alya, so I'm excited to see how that happens. I think it's gonna be chaotic, a little bit of a train wreck. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We missed the romance last season, and they delivered this season. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna check every box.
Definitely. And like you said, I think we were kind of looking for it this season because we didn't get much.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
all action last season, but I'm definitely excited. I think they've like built up the tension through these first 3 episodes really well, and like, like you said, giving you a little bit of different stuff, but they're focused on the plot, which I'm excited for. They've done a very good job building it up.
Yeah, it's awesome. I cannot wait for the next week. I think we're gonna know more about his backstory, which is gonna be really cool. But My Hero Academia, oh my god, oh my god, we have to
Dang.
go. We have to like talk about the past 3 episodes, but like this past episode, did they? My Hero Academia sat here and I was like, hey guys, this is season 7. This is the season of fuck your feelings. Okay, they started like this past episode with making us think that the blue hair girl was gonna die. Right, we saw the backstory. That is the kiss of death of anime. You see the backstory, she's gone. I knew it. I'm like, oh, there, she's gone. I loved her backstory too. I was like, oh, please don't die, but you're going to, and I'm gonna be sad. She got caught in the stomach, I think on the neck, and you're like, this is it. But she survived. They baited us. Bakugo, dude. Oh my god, then I went to his, like, not backstory, but he talked to All Might the Essence. He's like, hey man, sorry for being such an asshole when I was a kid. Like, I just wanted an autograph. And then, dude, his dead body. His dead fucking body. Dude, when Genus, like, looked over there and saw him on the ground, he's like, hey man, we're gonna patch up your injuries, and he sees him, and it cuts over to his face, and it's just like just pale. Just the blood, and he's just like, I was like, holy shit. I was like, My Hero Academia popped off on this episode. Popped off. Deku's gonna kill everybody.
It'll be so cool to kill 'em all!
Deku's about to come and solo every villain there is. All for One is fucked. Shigaraki, fucked. They can't run far enough. And by the way, Shigaraki's body is bullshit. I hate that. That we talk about like this anime is like plot armor out the ass on both sides, and his body's just such bullshit.
Yeah, I felt like this episode they were kind of like dealing with too much, and like his ability to adapt, even though he lost a lot of his quirks, is kind of like you said, plot armory. But they did a really, really good job of making the others like students, heroes, whatever you want to say, side characters. They like really gave them good limelight, and I'm with you. I definitely thought Nigiri was dead. She was like, she took one in the neck and one in the stomach. I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. The backstory. Ah, here we go.
And I felt for her in that backstory too, bro. I felt so bad for her. I was like, oh, dude, give her the world, man. Like, she deserved those good friends. Like, hells yeah, like, don't die, girl, please. Oh.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see, and it makes you like her a little bit more, and like her personality, which, yeah, she did have a sad backstory, but I feel like they use that as just like the perfect emotional setup to get you like worked up, and then be like, yo, here's this. You just show, yeah, like you said, Bakugo's dead body, and like the trading card, he wanted an autograph.
Dude, they set up the backstory kiss of death in the bait
just
and
so
switch.
sad, but that, yeah, exactly. I was pretty impressed. They definitely got me, but Bakugo was a badass this episode. Like, he definitely stepped up and delivered.
Bro, he went off. Like, he's the man. And it was so cool was that when he like kind of like snapped and he kind of went after him, first of all, that was fucking sick. When he just turned it on and he just went to work, and everyone was like,
So
holy
sick.
shit. Dude, he fired everybody up. That was some Sakura shit. And I'm not talking about from Naruto. I'm talking about from Windbreaker, okay, guys? Like, don't get upset. But like, that was some Sakura shit where you just turn it on, and then your actions really start to fire everybody up around you, and they just get into it, and they're like, let's do this. Ended very poorly, but like, damn, dude, that fight's really starting to turn on. And the thing is that like Shigaraki didn't even lose most of his quirks. His quirks are turned off right now, from that one teacher. And
Yeah,
it's like,
erasure or whatever.
and it's like his body's able to regenerate like that, and he can form like a mouth on his arm and spit venom out. Like, dude, like that's such bullshit that his natural body can just do that. Like, it's so annoying. I mean, because at that point, like, you can't kill him then. If he has his quirks, like, there's no shot that in any world, like, he should be able to die. Like, he said, hey, do you guys really think that that could have stopped Prime All Might? I'm like, bro, yeah. Like, that blow would have stopped Prime All Might. You're way past him. Like, if you think, like, what? It just, like, doesn't, like, add up. You know what I mean? Like, there's some aspects of it that just don't, like, add up, and it's like, come on. We gotta even talk about the All For One fight. Like, that's a little bit plot armor, too, with All For One. Like, the way he's, like, they finally break his mask, and then he just brings it back. It's like, okay. Like, cool.
Yeah, and then even, like, when you watch Hawks and the others, like, attack him, like, they obviously, are unsuccessful, and, like, they start getting busted up really bad. But then, after he takes that sound attack, like, Hawks is able to cut through his mask a few times. He immediately just, like, counters them and puts it back together. And then Endeavor shows up, and he's, like, opens a can of whoop ass on him. Like that was really sick. But kind of the same thing. Like, although that was a really sick scene when he uses prominence burn, like up in the sky, like the way they cut to All for
Oh,
One's face, and it's like that's really sick. But like, it just kind of feels like the same as Shigaraki. Like no matter what you do, he always has that like ace in his sleeve and like the perfect like ability to adapt to whatever they got hit with, which I would say is my only critique. But you do want them to drag it out. And obviously, there's like other plot lines they have to wrap up, so I do get it. But they've done a good job of like showing the other heroes like doing well, not just like the best ones. You know what I mean? Or like just Deku.
yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, but I guess like you said, it's just like seeing that and then seeing it have no effect. It's just like so annoying because like it's like they did all of that, set it up perfectly just to like scratch them, if that. Just to annoy them, really. That's what it is, just annoy them. But yeah, that was sick. The All for One fights can be very interesting because, like, Endeavor in the beginning, like 3 episodes ago, was such a disappointment. Bro just got lit up, smacked around, and thrown to the fucking ground. So seeing that episode afterwards when he came back and just started going to work, it's like, finally this man that does something. He was reminding me of Gojo, where it's like you have all this hype. I thought this guy was number two. You know what I mean? The number two hero, just so good, so insane, and you're getting bitch slapped. The kids are doing more than you. You know what I mean? And then it's time for you to do something, and you're just not doing fucking anything. You know what I mean? And so to see him kind of like have that little bit of redemption, because like you said, the Providence burn, amazing. I thought that was sick. I thought
Oh, sick.
bro, the people on the ground like evacuate. He's coming. Endeavor's coming. Like he's not supposed to, but he is. Go. Everyone's
Yeah,
like running for their lives as he's just thrown to the ground, fires everywhere. I'm like, dude, this is sick. Like a little bit of redemption for him, a little bit.
Yeah, it was so disappointing to see him just get like literally beat in a couple minutes of one episode. It was like there's no way he's going down like that.
Yeah.
That scene where he's like younger self is basically like telling him to get his shit together and he's kind of a loser. That was really cool. I like that scene a lot. And like obviously, he does really well and like has some cool moves and like a very good bit of redemption for him. Cause like he is obviously like the number two hero, right? So like we got to see something spectacular out of him.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was nice to see him kind of show up and like you said, support the students who have completely outclassed him up to this point.
Yeah, and dude, him ripping off his arm was fucking nuts.
So tough, yeah, dude.
like, dude, that second episode. Because we'll talk about the last three. Oh my god, like his redemption really happened in that second episode where he just like snaps himself out of it. His younger self just gives him the work what he really needed to hear, rips off his arm, and then just fucking lays on All for One. But like it's just like I don't know. Like I feel like if you weren't supposed to like end these fights here, just delay them. You know what I mean? Because again, like when you see them go all out and do all this stuff and go crazy, it's kind of like and they're not really doing anything. It's like, bro, how's Deku gonna do shit? You know what I mean? Like, you really tell me Deku's
Yeah.
gonna have to like beat these guys if like Hawks, Endeavor don't stand a chance. If you have like what is it like 7 of the top 10 against Shigaraki, that's not doing anything. You even took away his quirks. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely insane. They had two attacks that blasted through the shield, and it still didn't scratch Shigaraki. Like that's insane.
Yeah. And like they were it kind of goes back to your point like you said earlier like, "Oh, do you think this would be enough to beat like Golden Prime All Might?" Like
Yeah, like for sure.
yeah, dude, like that was total BS. Like they're all jumping them and like using their like strongest attacks and like he just has the perfect counter for everything. So I would say that's my only critique. I think the last two episodes have been like or the last three they've been really good for the story and like there's fun stuff in it, but to be my one like my one issue with it
And
just their ability to kind of like adapt to these best attacks and like it makes me ask the question like are the heroes due for like a huge power up like kind of like Bakugo like he takes that next step and where
Yeah.
he can compete for a second like it's kind of hard to see where it's going to go from here because like some of these fights have to finish up.
And like you can't blame My Hero Academia. It's what happens when an anime lasts this long. The power scaling goes to shit. Where it like you have to have these
Yeah.
massive, like completely overdone attacks and have them do nothing. That's my like then critique with like Solo Leveling, where Solo Leveling got to that point very very early on where you created a character that's at this such a level where if you're gonna have season 2, 3, 4, 5, you're gonna be having some like grabbing planets and smacking each other in the head with them just to cause like a little bit of blood. You know what I mean? Like some of the animes, they scale very poorly over time, and like it happens all the time. And that's what ended up happening to My Hero Academia. Because in the beginning, it was fine. In the beginning, it was scaled really nicely, where like you can do a solid attack and it's going to do solid damage, or like with the I forget what they're called, but like when they attacked the training facility and All Might came in and used as a punching bag, where like he used like big power but it did nothing, and he's like, oh, I know the weakness, and he adapted and then did it. You know what I mean? Like it just like the fighting then in the power scaling was a lot better, and now it's gotten to a point where like it's just like what are we watching? Like some like insane regenerative like an unhuman body that like makes no sense. It's just built off of plot armor, and then you have these attacks that are just like world ending, and like that's what we're fighting with. But like you can't necessarily blame them, it just happens a lot.
Yeah, perfectly said. I think it's kind of gotten crazy at this point. I mean, it's still a lot of fun to watch, and I still think the story's moving along pretty decently, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's gotten a little crazy for like the end arc, but you know, I'm still interested to see kind of where it goes. But
So wait,
yeah,
is this the end arc? Is this it?
I mean, I'm just assuming because like something's got to happen between Shigaraki and One for All. You know what I mean? Like, or whoever Deku gets a hold of, I would imagine, is in for a fight. You know what I mean? I don't know if this was, or they'll probably do like a season 8. I don't know how long they'll drag it. Like, I don't know how fast the pacing
Well, the
is.
manga's still coming out, right? The manga's still coming out, so they have to do a season 8 at least.
I would think so. And like, you know how like shonens are at the very end. Like, you have a lot of scenes and flashbacks
Yeah.
and like dialogue. Like, I'm not saying they're milking it because like there's a lot of like great fights and climaxes to these storylines, but it'll probably drag on longer than I think. Because like right now, I feel like the plot's moving along pretty quick, but they'll probably slow that down for like the end of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, like we'll see how it goes. It's been pretty solid, and like there is like a lot to like think of. Like, with damn, the season's been sick. You know, this season has been like it
Yeah,
hasn't been in the middle. It's been like really good, then really boring, then really good. You know, it has things that are
perfect.
like really awesome about it, and then kind of like not that awesome. It keeps going like up and down, up and down. It's not like chill in the middle at all. So like we'll see how it goes, but like it like the highs have been nice that this anime's been having so far this season.
Yeah, and I mean that's why we watch, and you know, you get a couple episodes that are slower, like a recap episode, like you said, but it's definitely been worth it, and I'm excited to see how this season goes.
All right, so what do we want to talk about next? I think we got to talk
Dude,
about Nobody Remembers Me last, because we can like really kind of think of what's going to happen with that. We can really explore with that. So, what you want to
Yeah,
do, Wistoria or Elusive Samurai?
dude, Wistoria was popping. I
Yeah.
was like very impressed because I'm like waiting for like a slow episode or like some backstory or like something with like the lore of the world or whatever, but they're like, nah. First off, let's show off how chiseled our boy Will is, and then like
Bro.
more sick fights. Like they're 3 for 3. We've gotten like a really badass, well animated fight in 3 straight episodes to start the season. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
And different looks too with those fights. This one was used like magic weapons, and it wasn't necessarily like, oh, here's my sword, smash, smash. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, damn, like he's really like dodging, getting in close, wrapping this like cord around this thing, and then setting fire to it and blowing this thing to hell. You know, I don't think it was even like one of the toughest things he's beaten. It was a level 6 or something, and he beat a level 9 last time. I think I'm not too sure, but like
I forget what the levels were, but they were saying it's like the top boss of that type of monster or whatever. So it
yeah.
was still pretty impressive.
Yeah, but like he's defeated them. Like I think the one that he defeated in episode 2 was stronger. Uh,
Yeah.
but like still, like so insane. You know, these fights are awesome, but it's also like so much building where it's like, we're learning about like his childhood friend and how everything about her and how she got to this tower and creating new magic and how she might be one of the greatest ever. You know what I mean? And then apparently she's doing something like some like workshop or something where Will's apparently going to be part of. So maybe we're going to see them interact soon. You know, who knows? But then who's this Iris girl? Who is this girl really? Because she's pretending to be someone else.
Yeah, like they kind of lead us on for like I would say a good 10-15 minutes in this
Oh yeah,
episode. Like meet her decently early on, and like it was kind of cool. This episode was like still pertaining to the story. We got like Elfie's backstory.
yeah.
We met what the fuck is his name? I forget. There's too many, but like Will's like roommate or his buddy,
Yeah.
he makes like the magic weapons. So like you're starting to build the world here. Like we got a little bit of lore on Elfie, and like you said, she's probably the greatest ever. But also like a couple new characters. Like that girl Iris leads us on for like the majority of the episode, and then as soon as Will beats that ice monster, she just hits you with that evil smirk, and like the cute anime voice goes away, and it's just like, who the hell is this guy? It's like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Like they're kind of like playing into the whole like academy or school trope, and like maybe make some of the students compete. I mean, we've already seen a little bit of it with Will and Shion, but like not too much outside of that. I mean, even like the teachers are like, they're still pretty tame, but like I can tell Werkner and Edward don't really see eye to eye. They get along, but they don't agree. So
Yeah.
it'll be kind of cool to see how like some of the politics in the school plays out. But yeah, like a huge episode,
Yeah,
another
and
banger.
I don't know if you like heard this, but like it's even more than that. It's not even just kids competing. She said something like I heard he was good, but this is like insane. Like I didn't know he was this good. And she said I must report this to her or to them. Like and I put the in my notes, report to who. So she's reporting to somebody, which means it's not like
I
she's
did miss
competing
that.
against him or like whatever. Like she was sent by someone to examine Will, and they knew him well enough that he'd go deeper into the dungeon than everybody else, and that he's a nice guy that would help a helpless person. You know what I mean? So like they set it up
Yeah,
perfectly to kind of trap him in a way where it was like we can get someone near him, like get eyes on him and kind of see like what is this kid about? You know what I mean? And it was kind of set up perfect. So it's like what's going on there? Like who's out to get Will now? And then what's going on with this chick and the spy? You know what I mean? Because like she's a spy, but like for who? Like for what? Like this is going to get pretty insane. But you got to imagine, like, there's way more people that like are against him because he's kind of like a spit in the face of like I want to be with a magic Vander or whatever it is, without being able to use magic. You know, a lot of people are going to be very upset about that.
yeah, that's a very good point. Like I feel like they've touched on it in each episode that Will is like not just an anomaly, but something to look down on because
Mm-hmm.
magic is everything. And Edward makes a good point of that in episode 2. That like dialogue, it's not dialogue, but he's like one mage took down 10,000 ogres or orcs or whatever. And then Will's like, that's not the whole story. There was one orc that like stood above the rest and like was able to
Landed a
have like
hit.
a really good fight and land a hit. Yeah. So like I feel like for me the whole idea of like Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen is
Oh,
like
dude, he's the man.
like especially like with him taking his shirt off but like he has that like heavenly restriction body. Like he might not have any magic or like any latent ability, but like his body is naturally gifted because he doesn't have any magic. And I think maybe that's like what my guess, whoever this group is that sent this spy, I think they're trying to like hone in on what makes Will special because Shion is the son of like a royal or somebody like a
Yeah.
high up at the school, right? So like it could be his dad's like group or whatever. You know what I mean? There's like a ton of different ways we could go with this, but I think they're out to see what makes Will so special, and then it'll be interesting to see if they try to like get rid of him, if they go against him, or they try to like use his talents and kind of maybe how the school plays into that. There's like
Yeah.
the shit is like so wide open. You know what I mean? For 3 episodes, like we're getting a lot of action and content, but like the story's like wide open. I'm really excited about it.
I feel like like very soon it's going to like drop off with action and get way more into like the actual story and progression of that. Because I actually think that there's like clans, I guess you can say, within the school. I feel like with any academy based thing, you have those like groups. You know what I mean? You have everyone divided in like their
Clips,
own kind
yeah.
of like group or clan, and they have their own agendas. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see Will getting scouted to be brought in one of those. You know what I mean? Kind of like, hey, here's what we're about. Here's what we want to do. We need you for it, or we're against you. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that can be against him because they think what he's doing like isn't right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm excited to see where it goes because Will's always stepped up to the plate, and even against Edward, he showed like a really good ability to adapt and like I don't know, man. I think he's got it. It'll be interesting to see like who kind of like opposes him and where he goes. But I also like that this episode was kind of like a side quest. You know what I mean? They just like
Yeah,
chase out
it
the
felt
dungeon.
that
Like
way.
not that it came out of the blue, but like it did, and it was still like pertained to like the story. It wasn't like a filler episode. So I feel like they've done a really good job through the first 3 episodes. I'm excited to see what episode 4's got.
So I think the whole thing with the dungeon was that's the thing that his childhood friend's a part of. I don't know names, guys. I told you I'm not able to, but I think her like the thing that she's doing and running has to do with the dungeon. Where like I think you need to get a certain amount of kills or whatever because he saw like the redhead dude. And he was like, oh, like he's going off. He's going a bunch of things. Like he's gonna be done in no time. You know what I mean? Like I got to catch up to him. That's why he went deeper because he's like those upper levels are getting like completely emptied right now. So I think it has to do with that. I feel like next episode he might be talking to her, might see her just flash the abs. That's what I do if I had those abs. I just be like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be shirtless all the time.
Yeah. You're just waving with your pack, like
yeah.
I think
they were like farming those ice crystals or whatever. So you're probably right. At some point in the next episode, I think we'll get like a meeting or you know whoever was in that dungeon will come together, which will be cool.
So here's the thing. So do you think that Wistoria is going to eventually take a different beat, a different step, and we're going to move on from this academy soon and move to the tower? Because the tower has it's the upper school or the upper academy, whatever it is, and it sounds like they're about to graduate right now. So do we think that this season's going to then switch and it's going to be more about them being in the tower type thing instead of necessarily being in the school? Because it seems like we're towards the end.
I would guess like probably midway through the season they'll graduate and have like a celebratory episode, but towards the end of the season we'll see what the tower's like and kind of who falls off or like who excels in the tower. But hopefully we do get that by the end of the season. I don't really know what the pacing's like. It seems like it's moving pretty quick but not too fast. So hopefully, by the or like give us a couple episodes, like the last 2 or 3.
Yeah,
get some of that like season 2 look ahead.
I think if we're gonna have like clans and like these different groups and everything, it's gonna be in the upper tower, not in the school. Because technically, people in the school are kind of like nobodies. You know what I mean? They're not all destined to the upper tower. Like actually, like very, very few of them are. And I feel like that upper tower is gonna be way more like elitist. And you would have the different groups and the clans that would like have their own ideals and here's what we're gonna do and we're gonna get like people, we're gonna get like troops to then help with this and get sway and power and get like a real political. So I feel like that could be like grooming him for that. You know what I mean? I don't know, but like that's what I'm kind of wondering. Where it's like, how long are we gonna be in this academy and how fast are we gonna switch to the tower?
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm rocking with it either way. Like I would say this is probably my favorite non-like romance this season. Episode 3 was impressive. They're doing a really good job at writing. So hopefully we get more of it. And even if it does slow down without the action, hopefully we're getting, maybe like a little bit of what the problem is. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like he's faced adversity, but nothing like crazy. See who these like villains are. This group that's looking for him.
So do you think that he should reach the highest form of wizard and should reach the top of the tower? Because for me, I want there to be a twist where it makes sense. Because those 7, like the Vaders or whatever they're called, they hold up the sky. If Will can't use magic, you can't help hold up that barrier. You know what I mean? So like you literally shouldn't be one of them. Not saying you shouldn't ascend the tower, but you shouldn't be one of the 7. You know what I mean? So it's like I either want it to make sense, or I want it so Will can end up using magic in some way. You know what I mean? Like he uses it in his own way where he can fuse magic into his weapons, or he maybe can develop his own type of magic. I mean, that's really easy given like his like physical skill set to maybe infuse magic with that, and it's like very special to you. You know what I mean? Because that's the other way. They mentioned that multiple times now. If you create your own form of magic, that is the only way to skip the line and go straight to the top. No exceptions. Create your own magic, you're instantly there. There's no one that can get in your way. There's no forms you have to do, no tests. You're right there. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if that's going to end up happening.
I would guess you're exactly right. Like, especially with Will being kind of a bookworm, like they all call him that through the first couple episodes, and like obviously he's a hard worker. I would see him creating some form of magic, like you said, or being able to imbue something or whatever, and then they'll be either forced to make that 8th spot for him just because of the rules. But I could see something coming up in the story where they're like, yeah, if you can't hold up the sky, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But it'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of with you. I don't really know if he's not a mage, then he doesn't really fit with that group.
Exactly.
But
It's like
like,
with Black Clover with Asta being the Wizard King. He can't use magic. How is he gonna be the Wizard King? It just like certain things just don't kind of make sense. You want it to make sense. You know what I mean?
yeah, so like a new title or a new position, or like in a way will have changed the rules or the way things are or something. You know what I mean? I
Or
think
he
that would be
changes himself. You know what I mean? Like he can then use
yeah,
magic and then fit the criteria.
yeah, just something that, like you said, make it make sense and is not some like crazy ass pull.
You know what? Like some like low key fucking out of nowhere thing I want to absolutely happen in this anime. I want the
What's that?
Skyfall. I want
Yeah,
them out
like
of left field to just bring it to the apocalyptic type environment where the sky falls, something happens, maybe some of them get killed, some of the upper wizards get killed, and then the sky falls, and then you're in this war zone. And that's where Will could really thrive. And I feel like that's totally out of left field because you're watching this anime and you're like, oh, okay, the anime is very simple. It's written on the wall. We know from day one he's going to go to the top, be with his childhood friend, and live happily ever after. Becomes the top wizard, even though he can't use magic, and he gets the love of his life, who's his childhood friend. Like, so stereotypical. I would love for them just to be like, fuck it, and then just drop this guy, and then you're like, what is this anime? Like, what is going to happen? What are they going to do? Like, I feel like that level of chaos to me is so much fun, but I feel like not enough animes have the balls to do it.
Yeah, it would be cool to see them take that risk because Will does make that comment in this episode that nobody has ever seen the sky and
Mm-hmm.
like we only know what they tell us and we don't know if it's true. Like there really has been no sight of it. So like there is that like mystery with what's above the sky and like why are they holding it up? I guess to protect them, but because it's like a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But what's on the other side of that? You know what I mean? Is that who's looking for Will? Like it would definitely be the perfect twist. You know what I mean? Midway through the season or whatever, however they do that, that would be a really cool twist. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I would absolutely love that. That'd be so sick, and that would actually like make it make a lot of sense because then you have all this chaos, everything you thought you knew, you don't. And like some animes, like I said, some animes actually do that, and I love those fucking animes that are just like, oh, you think it's this? Oh, fuck you! Like it's like one of those things where it's like, you ever seen the meme where it's like when you have a favorite character and it shows like a character just chilling out, and then it's like a nuclear explosion. It's like the author 10 minutes later after you like get their backstory and
Yeah.
they're your favorite. Dude, I love when they do that when they like you think one thing and they just shatter it. So I think that'd be really cool, and I feel like again that would just make sense. That's the environment Will's built for. Is for war. Is for in the action. Is for using insane combat, both skill but then sense, where you're able to like really read a battlefield. And I feel like that's where he'd really excel, and that's how he'd be able to like move up. If he just moves up the way it is, and it's like academically, like all right, cool, you're smart. You can get up, you can get good grades, get scholarships, make your way up, like awesome. But like you can't use magic, and fundamentally, it's like applying for a job where it's like I don't even know how to say it. Like you don't meet the qualifications at all. So like you to get that job would then just
Yeah.
be like so fucking stupid. It just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So they need to, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I'm definitely with you. Like, I think that would A, fit into the story, but it would also kind of speak to Will's abilities and like give him a way forward that's more natural than or more exciting too than just like going through the ranks or coming up with some spell or something to get to the top and then going from there.
Yeah. So the Elusive Samurai.
I need these next two episodes ASAP because like
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna
I wasn't sure we were gonna go with that for a second.
it's super like up in the air. Like I guess he's gonna have to find retainers,
Hmm.
which like sounds like there will be a good bit of travel. And how I kind of see it playing out is he travels with this weird kind of like half-ass priest, but like obviously he showed us like in this episode he's legit. You know what I mean? Like he
Mhm.
does kind of show that he's I don't know blessed or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
But like
with the
as he
amount of traps, dude, that was so funny. Wherever this kid ran, there was just a massive hole in the ground that he fell in.
I love when he falls in his own hole at the end, and he's just like, "Wow, what a nice fall!" And he's just like, "Don't say that." He's a great character, and the fact he is Gojo's voice actor is just like perfect for like his demeanor.
I don't think he's gonna be in the anime all that much. I feel like he's going to be one of the characters that like is really in the anime right now because he is forcing this kid to go on this road, go on this path, right? He's forcing him where he's like, hey, here's what you need to do. Here's your potential. Now we have to show you this. Now we have to show you to win war by playing tag, right? I'm going to then show you to believe in me. I'm going to get you to believe in me, prove that I am who I am, and then he's going to be like, I'm going to send you on your own. I feel like at some point he's going to start leaving this kid by himself to his retainers and be like, hey, like you got to take that step forward. You got to grow. You got to like have your own thoughts, your own decision making, or when you're in a battlefield, you will never know what to do. So I feel like right now, if people are like hit or miss about it because of him, I feel like eventually he will not be in it as much and kind of be more in and out. You know what I mean? Where the kids kind of go on their own journeys and kind of build that bond together. Because we saw that this episode where when he finally gave in and bought into it, it was really just him and the retainers, and the guy was really kind of just outside of it. You know what I mean? He kind of just stayed away, let them do their own thing, and then, you know, stole their dinner.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's like a good comic relief character, and as they travel over the next like 3 to 4 episodes, I think we'll see some of the people on the cover art, and like we'll be introduced to some of these characters his age. What I think is going to happen is like they'll just kind of set the story up where like he travels, he might knock off 1 or 2 more enemies, but it'll be a lot of like bond building and like kind of building his army, his retainers, and then after he has a strong enough crew, you know, towards the end of season 1, like maybe they'll make a move. And I think the shaman is kind of more like direction and trying to teach this,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
puppet shogun how to be a real one and like sort of how to fight with the abilities he's given. Because obviously, you know, he's from like a royal bloodline or whatever. He's blessed with the ability to like get out of any situation. But for him to like actually win this war against adults is going to take, you know, some crazy teamwork. So I think that's kind of how this season will play out. It might not be as like action packed and brutal, but it'll definitely be fun and worth watching. And I think kind of like Hell's Paradise, people would be excited for like a season 2.
Yeah, like I do want to see action kind of being brought in more and more though, like to like remind us that it is going to happen and it's not just going to be, you know, this journey and having this kid grow. Like I definitely want to see a little bit more of that, like him getting into fights and, you know, some people dying. You know what I mean? It's just a nice thing to have in the anime and constant reminders that it's not just like a one-off thing with the uncle, you know. And I feel like pretty soon it is going to get very hairy where it's like, yeah, they're going to be traveling, trying to build up their army, the retainers, trying to learn how to fight, trying to train. But they're also getting into fights, I think, because the enemy also has a seer. You know what I mean? We saw that at the very end of the episode where that guy, like, did that weird thing with the bird, you know, and he was able to see, it's like, oh, like, they have the shaman or whatever. And they found out kind of their strategy.
Yeah, and they kind of drop that in right at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
episode where like they kind of speak on I forget what his name is. The crazy shaman, like,
Yeah.
that's going to be a pain. That's like annoying that he's helping them. Like that's a problem. So like I'm sure he'll have a role towards the end of the season, but I think a big chunk of this will be like just kind of setting this main cast up and like giving them some time together before, you know, just diving into war. But yeah, I'm with you. Even if it's just like a couple episodes, like it would be nice to have some action and like kind of remind people that yeah, it can be brutal and like the payoff for it will be sick. Because like other than the art, you know what I mean, in the animation, it's beautiful. It's very easy to watch.
It's so good. It's very well done. Like it is very aesthetically pleasing, and like the story does seem like very cool. That's why it's like, you know, balance in some, you know, that little bit of action every now and then, and it's like, all right, like sweet, like that would be sweet. I think it's gonna be a very good season. I'm really excited for it, and it's like, yeah, it's just really interesting to see how it's gonna play out the rest of the season. This one was definitely like the slower, more building type. You know, he had to get him to trust him and to buy into, hey, you're gonna be a warrior, you're gonna be a hero, and you're gonna bring this country back. So seeing the next couple episodes is gonna be big because that's gonna be the episodes where it was like the episodes for all the other animes we just talked about, where it's like, holy shit, can't believe that happened. So much action. Dude, it's been so. I've been talking for the past like 10, 12 hours. I can't speak. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be absolutely insane. So, do you have anything else, or do you want to talk about Nobody Remembers Me? Why does nobody remember me in this world?
That was cool, man. I was like
Dude,
pretty
yeah,
surprised. It
isn't
was
it?
like a very different spin on like an isekai, which, like you said, it's easy to say it's been overdone, but
Mhm.
first 2 episodes just didn't really show us too much. Like I still have a ton of questions, but like that's perfect. I'll be there for the next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, And that's the thing, like the first couple episodes, like it showed us like a little bit and like left us with a lot of questions, but that's a good thing because it didn't jump into the stereotypical, okay, here's your harem, here's your OP powers, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, like what is going on? It's so cool seeing like, okay, here's this world and here's how it's been, right? You needed to build up that first episode in the normal world where it's like, okay, like there was a war, 5 races, humans are winning, there's these tombs where like the demons and so are imprisoned, he's taking his job seriously, training really hard, he's got a child with his best friend, the other friends, you have all that, and then so we're going to throw you into this other world where it's like this alternate reality. And it's like, oh shit. So then you kind of get your bearings of like, hey, what's going on here? What's this Sid guy? This like Prophet Sid. Because we don't even know about him in the other world. You know what I mean? So he comes to this world and he doesn't exist. He goes to the tombs and he finds Sid's sword. But again, it's just like what is going on? There's that Chimera kind of chick where she's like a mix of a couple of the races, it seems like. All the races hate her except for this, the MC. And she seems to remember his world. She's like, what, the humans aren't winning? Because she seems to be from his world. It seems like Sid used the sword from the normal world to seal her or something, or what. But, I mean, there's so many questions here, and I feel like it's an isekai. It has a lot of the same shit, but, like, it's not the very stereotypical harem, OP powers, and then just very shallow, like, story.
Yeah, and, like, I think it's introduced well. Like I said, we kind of had a lot of questions that are unanswered through the first 2 episodes, but like it's a good pilot. You know what I mean? It's kind of relatable. Like you see Kai struggling through like nobody remembering him, how different the world is, and like everything he knows to be true is completely untrue in this other world.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he gets like Sid's sword and is able to like fight these demons and like be an equal with some of these crazy beasts, but when they go back, he's just kind of like a regular person, and it's like totally different.
Yeah, I mean, he actually does really well on his own. He actually killed the demon when he first got there with his normal weapon, and that's something that he get.
He's got those like magic bullet, the elven bullets too, which I thought was cool. Kind of like he's not just some like OPMC, like he's crafty or whatever. He's still like normal. He's like a human, but I thought that was cool.
You can tell like he's not OP. He was just trained better. You know what I mean? If the other people were trained the same way he was in the same fighting tactics and the same weapons, they would do like as well as he is. He's not necessarily special. Sid's sword makes him a little special, makes him the human's like hero per se, or have the opportunity to be. And that's what's like really cool because like it asks the question like, who is the Sid person? Who are they? Where are they from? What, like, where do they go? Like, what's going on? How did he end up in this world? You know what I mean? And the best part is that he's got Sid's sword now, and we're about to see a war. Episode 2 ended with them being like, fuck it, let's go right at the capital of the demons. And I'm like, yo, this is because like the action so far, it hasn't been a lot, but it's been promising. It seems like it was like pretty good. So the fact that we're about to get 1, 2, 3 episodes of like pure action, like I'm all for it. I'm really excited to see how that's gonna look. Because I think the story right now is very intriguing and very good, especially because it's like answering questions, but each answer has 3 more questions. So you're constantly intrigued, you're constantly looking for more, and you're constantly thinking about like, okay, well, what's going on? What's happening? And now it's like, okay, well, let's see how the combat's going to be. And again, it's like an isekai where like not only is there no harem, but there's like no love interest really, except for like the childhood best friend, but like there really isn't a love connection there. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just nice. It's more focused on the story and the action, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, they've done a great job of setting it up, and like you said, it's nice to see there's like a lot of action coming our way.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be cool to see how they play that out and kind of what happens between these 2 worlds and where Kai fits into all that, and also like we don't really know what Rine is, the like half angel demon mixed race girl.
Yeah, she looks like the beast, because there's the beast tribe. I think she's one of them, part humans, part celestial. So I'm trying to think. It's humans, it's the beasts, it's the demons, it's the angels, and then I don't know the 5th.
I guess humans, right?
Did I say humans? It's humans, demons, beasts, celestials, and then I don't know the 5th.
Yeah, and it'll be cool to see how these other heroes like fit in of these like races. There's like a lot of promising, like you said, action coming our way. And they've done a good job of like giving you a little taste of some of these questions you have, but then it just opens up the world, and there's a lot there. I definitely think it's worth checking out.
Oh, it definitely is. I think the animation for it is pretty sick as well. Like I think that they did a pretty good job.
character design's very cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
they all like Kai looks badass. Renee's got like a really cool like Heart of the Cards Yu-Gi-Oh like design. Like you know what I mean? Like the I'm trying to think of that angel chick, like the magical, it's not magical reborn or change of heart. That's what it is.
I have no idea.
Like she looks like the same kind of angel in that card, but super cool. And even like his friend Jean, like the childhood friend, she's got like a
Oh
cool
yeah.
design. It's just like unique, you know what I mean? Like promising all around. The animation and fights were kind of cool, but
And then you gotta love
nothing
that,
really
like,
to like.
when you said that in his world, like everything was true, and like when he goes to this one, like it like doesn't work. It's not like true. Like the humans are losing stuff like that. Like everything he's saying about his childhood friend actually like is true. Like everything that he knows from the past world is still true here, and it just shocks her every time. Where she's like, "I don't know you. Who are you?" But then he says something. She's like, "We're done for the day." Like she's in disbelief. She's like, "How do you know like my dad and my grandfather's like nicknames? You know what I mean? Who I'm inspiring to be? Like no one knows that. No one even knows she's a chick. Only he does, and like some of like the very higher ups. So it's just funny how he's gaining her trust by constantly saying things that he knew about the old one in his world, and it still remains true. You know, it's kind of cool how the characters, even though they don't remember him, they're still the same. They still have the same characteristics, the same personalities, the same kind of like backstories in a way. It's just like one defining moment just wasn't there, and this is the different timeline from that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. It's definitely got a very promising first couple episodes, so hopefully we get some action and we get to see Kai kick some butt. But um, I'm really excited. I think it was awesome. I'm definitely glad you suggested it because like I'm usually one to pass on like isekais or whatever, but I'm like,
Dude,
all right.
same.
After the first
I'm
episode, I'm
too.
like, yeah, this is sick.
All right, so you're actually liking it then? This we're probably
Yeah,
gonna like,
definitely.
yo, fuck yeah, dude, I love that. Whenever you're like, hey, this anime seems pretty good, you recommend it. Someone's like, dude, like, thanks, like that's welcome. I was like, ah, that's best,
Let's go. Good stuff. Hell yeah.
dude. I mean, anime. We kind of talked about it, like off of this. Like, anime has gotten to such a great point where it's just like there's no such thing as a bad season anymore. Like, because you got to
Yeah.
think that like all this new stuff coming out is fucking awesome, but then like next year they're gonna be coming out season twos. You know what I mean? So you have all these amazing animes that have multiple seasons. Then the new stuff, well, that's gonna have another season two on top of new stuff. Then so like in the next couple of years, you're gonna have anime seasons that are so stacked that like you aren't gonna be able to watch them. Like it's insane what anime has gotten to. Like I don't think we're ever gonna have a boring anime season. I don't think that's ever gonna happen where we have less than 3 or 4 animes that just fucking hit, and that's insane where we are at right now.
Yeah, and it's like really comforting to know like you don't need to have like the heavy hitters like um I'm not watching One Piece every week or like My Hero, like you catch up here and there. And like you still have a ton of good stuff to watch and like there's still a lot of like maybe unhyped original like animes coming out that are still really good. You know what I mean? You might not hear about them here or there, but like there's still a lot of stuff to check out. So it's always worth it just to be like diving in and just to give something a chance for a few episodes.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest thing where it's like we've said it like multiple times before, but like keep an open mind now. You have to now with anime because like you keep
Absolutely.
judging that book by the cover. It's like, dude, like these animes hit more than they miss now. Like if you just judge
Yeah,
that book by the cover and you don't actually give it a chance and you don't actually like have an open mind with it, like you're gonna miss out on a lot of amazing animes because there's just so many different ones that just do so well in like so many different genres. I mean, that's where you just gotta branch out because then you're gonna have like the possibilities are limitless. Like it's insane. Like I'm stoked. I can't wait for these season to continue and to keep going on and see how these animes turn out and how well they do. Hopefully some season twos. Hopefully some extended seasons. Then we have the fall season's gonna be amazing. We have One Piece that's gonna be binging. Dude, it is going to be. It's a great time. It is a great time in the anime world. So I hope you guys
heck
are
yeah.
having a blast. You're watching a lot of great anime. Listen, we have a lot of videos coming out. Like a lot of videos. After this, I'm about to edit 4 videos and like I think like 13 to 17 shorts. Like if you think I sleep, you are sorely mistaken. Like the content is going to be going through the roof. So if you're enjoying, if you are liking this, subscribe. You don't have to, but like, hey, there's plenty of stuff coming out, and if you want to be in the loop, you guys want to be there when it comes out, there you go. Also stream. That's in the link description. Just hanging out, talking about anime, playing gotcha games is always a blast. But hey, we absolutely love the support you guys are giving us. We dropped Oshinoko, Brilliant or Bust, which was absolutely insane. And listen, some of you defended incest. Not really, but 4 people disliked it, and I'm assuming you're incest lovers. That's what that means to me.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we did not report you to the authorities. I told your siblings. They're fucking disgusted in you. Okay? I'm like, hey, your sibling wants to fuck. Fucking weirdo. But hey, listen, seriously, we appreciate it, guys. We are glad you guys are enjoying the content and having a blast. So have a great week. Have a great weekend and enjoy, because we are just feasting, and I don't think the feast is ever going to end. So you got anything else to say before we hop off?
Hell yeah, dude. This season's like ramping up really good, and hopefully everybody else feels the same. Like there's something for everybody this season. So like you said, I don't think we'll ever be hungry for something good again. I'm excited.
Yeah, if you're hungry for anime, it's because you are like very, very picky, which is just
True.
Yeah. But hey, hope you guys are enjoying. Hope you guys are excited for the stuff coming out. I hope you guys are having a great time. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the week, and